Let's see if we can get some comments rolling. Let's see, we'll get this one over with quick. Got some really emotionally impactful information for y'all this evening. Info. Good evening, good evening. Good to see y'all. There we go. Got the laptop up today for these notes. Let's see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ed Banks, good to see you. Jessica, good to see you. Sheila, good to see you. Rasan in the building. Twyla, hello. Get y'all paper and pens ready, ladies and gentlemen. We gone. Got an interesting one today. Let me see. Inbox over there. Let's see. Forward. Welcome, Lori. Good to see you. Ralph, good to see you, brother. Crestview, come on, Ralph. You right down the road, my boy. Marcellus Mack in the building. Betty, good to see you. Richard, hello. Good to see everybody. Trying to get this laptop sorted out. Nope, that's not the right one. Nope, 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 nope. Literally nothing I need. There we go. All right. Welcome. Y'all let me know. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. We'll get started in 1 second. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me okay. Let's see. Perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fourth point scenario. Okay. Do, 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 do. All right. And right quick, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that everybody knows the format. If not, please go in the group to the prosperity challenge updates. That's technically day one. I'll probably change that topic, the name of that to reference day one. This is day two. We do not start using the oils per se to do what we need to do until I think it's day seven, because the prosperity challenge, we've done two. One was 3 days and one was a week. So this week is really just been educating you on wealth and income and money and how it works. There's going to be some information you're going to learn over the course of tonight and this week that will probably upset you, that may confuse you. Then you're going to have other information you learn tonight and later in the week as well that will uplift you and enlighten you and empower you to really understand how income works and how prosperity works and how you can achieve it and how you should achieve it. And then starting on next Sunday night, this Sunday night coming up, that is when we really start to incorporate the oils into the practice. And again, the mandatory oils we'll be using is clear. You don't need a full bottle of clear. Align, you probably need about a half a bottle, if not a third of a bottle of Align essential oil. You will need that. You're going to need about a full bottle of Prosperity essential oil, or possibly some people have some leftover Prosper, but you're going to need a full bottle regardless of Prosper or Prosperity. And last but not least, we have an optional oil, which dozens and dozens of people went out and got yesterday, which is the finishing oil, which is a combination space clearing oil. But what it really does is it's going to lock in that abundance frequency that's there. So you want to make sure that you have those particular oils. That's all the four. And remember, the finishing oil is optional, but highly recommended. And if you order those today, or you should have them in time for the actual the oil part of the challenge. So let's dive into the information. And today's election day too. So if you're a voter, please get out and vote. If not, that's okay too. It's America. You got a right to vote or not vote, and that's totally all right. Totally up to you. I'm a voter, so we went and got that done earlier today, and now we are working. Okay, so number one on our notes, and this is going to be because what is repeated is remembered, and what is remembered is repeated. And I got to really sear that in for your mindset to get that part of your mindset. So the first thing I'm going to talk about very quickly is until you know why, the how doesn't matter. And this is a phenomenally important concept for prosperity in general, because until you know why you're doing something, you typically won't have the long-term motivation necessary to accomplish that which you set out to do. I'll say that again. Until you really get connected to your reasons why, until you know why, the how doesn't matter. Why? Because you probably will not engage in the behaviors necessary for success long enough for them to work. All right. So that's the first thing. Now, so just be clear on that. So you need to understand why you need to be wealthy, why you need to have an abundance mindset, why you need to be prosperous and have more than enough. Okay. And so we're going to talk about the second point, which is explaining why it is absolutely necessary for you and or any family you decide to have for you to be wealthy. For people to say things like, oh, it's not all about money. I agree. It's not all about money. It's actually about people and the good you do on this world to all, God's children, if you're able to do it. But the second point that we're going to go into, it's going to be a scenario, and it'll make a lot of sense, but it will aggravate you, or it should aggravate you some, especially for those of you who are not educated or involved in the political process in any capacity. Now, first point was until you know why, the how doesn't matter. Second point is just hear me out on this scenario. You don't have to take notes yet. I'm going to summarize this for you in one sentence. But what I want you to do right now, and we will have a replay, obviously, but what I want you to do right now is to understand the concepts of what I'm saying. So I'll take it step by step. This is very, very important for you to unlock your prosperity mindset based on necessity. You gotta be prosperous, okay? You don't really have a choice at this point in the world. Now, here's the scenario. When you're paid from your job, the income that you received is taxed one time, typically before you ever get it. So put a one in the chat if that concept makes sense. I go to work, I make, X amount of dollars an hour. I should make, $40,000 a year, but I really just clear $28,000 a year because taxes are taken out of my check before the check ever comes to me. Put a one in the chat if that makes sense. And that's a reality for most people. Most people don't have a problem with paying taxes or getting that stuff figured out. All right. Now, here's the thing. So you get your $28,000, and then you're going to take the $28,000 that's already been taxed by the government, mind you. Then you're going to go spend it. And you're going to go spend it to buy things. You're going to pay your rent and a mortgage. You may buy bread or eggs at the grocery store. You may get gas. There are things that you can maybe go get services and things like that. With the exception of cash services, all the goods and services that you use all have some type of tax added on it. Even your airline tickets. When you go stay at a hotel, there's more taxes, and they're taxing the money on things that were already taxed, if that makes sense. So, for example, when you get your check, it's already been taxed by the government, okay? Money already taken out. And then when you go to spend the money, let's say, for example, you go to the store, okay, you go to a store and you buy stuff. The things that you buy are going to be taxed the second time, but that dollar has already been taxed. Then the money that you spend at the store goes to the store owner, and the store owner is going to pay his employees. But wait, before he even pays the employees, the government is going to apply income tax to that money, okay? And then the employees get money that has been taxed a third time. Now, really think about that. How many times do you have to tax a dollar, okay, before there's nothing left of the dollar? I really need you to understand how that works. How many times must you be taxed on a dollar? And the point, the amount of tax doesn't matter. It can be 1%, which it's not. But but when you spend it, the government already got paid off it. When you buy something, you're paying sales tax. The government's getting their money again. And then when that store owner pays their employees with the money that you sent there, it's taxed again before the store employees even get it. Does that make sense? And does that sound fair? If that sounds fair, put yes. And if you think it sounds unfair, put unfair in the chat. And again, ain't no politician fix this. I don't care who you voting for. Ain't nobody fixed that. Okay? I just need you to understand that concept of how taxation works. Okay, this is, again, people have fought and died and fought whole empires over unfair taxing. Okay, just understand that concept. So your money is going to be taxed an infinitely number of times. Okay, and the government's going to be paid every single time that money changes hands, and so there's really nothing left. And that leads us to the concept. All right, which leads us to number 3. And I want you to understand. So that was the second scenario. So number 3. All right. Taxes is a weapon by the government to prevent you from being able to save money. I don't know any other way to put it. If you really want to sum it up, you could say these 3 words. Taxation is theft. It just is. Taxation is theft. There's no way around it. No person who can read at the 5th grade level would fail to comprehend that the way it's currently structured, taxation is theft. And I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. Okay? My personal opinion. I heard, I think Wes Linden put it this way, and it just made so much sense to me when I heard it. Okay? Taxes is a weapon by the government to prevent you from being able to save money. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, if that doesn't make sense, put in the chat that doesn't make sense. And again, I'm not talking about like one round of taxes for, the schools and the roads, but we're talking infinite taxes. Infinite. That's why the amount of taxes, the tax percentage is irrelevant after a certain point. It could be 1%, but the money's going to be taxed a million times. It could be 50%. It's just going to get taxed and you're just going to go broke faster. All right. So just understand that taxes is a weapon by the government to prevent you from being able to save money. They don't want you to be debt free, because if you're debt free, you're not dependent on the government for services and goods and welfare and all this other type stuff and disability and everything else. And if you're not dependent on the government, what purpose does the government have? The government will still have a purpose, but it'll be far smaller. And if the government's purpose is far smaller, they can't justify that amount of taxes. And these people get paid big salaries. I mean, big money, under the table and over the table. Well, why would you say that? Listen, I worked at the Louisiana State Legislature, which one is the most complicated legislatures in the land. And I worked there for 2 consecutive terms. Okay, so I understand. And that was while I was in law school. So just understand the way laws work and the way politics work. Not many network marketers have the frame of reference of experience I have of a law degree, a law enforcement, career on top of the law degree, but also multiple years of legislative experience, at the House of Representatives, at the Senate, really watching how these things work and writing laws. Okay, writing laws. As an intern, I was writing laws that senators and representatives put into law that are still in force today. So I'm just telling you what it is. Okay, so if you understand that taxation is a weapon by the government to keep you from being able to save money, and if you understand that when you get your money from your job, it's already been taxed. When you spend it, it's taxed again. If you buy something big, it's really taxed. And when the places and the businesses that you spend money at collect taxes on the stuff again, and they pay their employees with your money that you spend at that business, those employees' money is going to get taxed again by the government. And that cycle just repeats. If all that makes sense, put a 1 in the chat. If it doesn't make sense, put a 2. Okay, so we just wanted to understand what taxes beyond a reasonable amount are. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, put a 2 in the chat. And we're going to move on to concept number 4 for tonight. Now, concept number 4, this is very, very interrelated to taxes. These are actually the evil twin assassins of your money. Okay. Now let me present a scenario. And let's say, for example, despite taxes, you are able to save some money because some people are just really good savers or they make money fast and they can save a lot of money. Okay, so let me speak to the savers. In 1985, it cost $65 to buy a pair of the Jordan 1s. Okay, the Jordan 1 tennis shoes. I remember those. Okay, I didn't own them because we was broke, but I remember people standing outside stores to buy these shoes back when I was a kid. Like, what? So it cost $65 in 1985 to buy a pair of the Jordan 1s. All right, the first Jordan shoes. In 2022 and 2023, the exact same shoe was re-released. The exact same shoe was no different. Same fabric, same shoestring, same company, same everything. In fact, because Jordan wasn't playing no more, the shoes should cost less, but they shouldn't have been as popular. It's not about popularity. The same pair of shoes that cost $65 in 1985 when a lot of us were alive, the same shoes released last year are $180 plus tax. The same shoe. The same size, the same amount of fabric. Give me one word as to why the shoes now cost more than triple what they used to cost. Triple. There's one word. Why does the same item one year cost way more another year? Thank you, because Marcus said it. Inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, if taxes is a weapon to prevent you from being able to save, inflation is a weapon designed to destroy any money that you save. I need to be very clear about it. Let's get some more examples in there. In 2000, when a lot of us were buying houses, some of us for the first time, the median price of a house in America, all across all states, the average price was $165,000. My parents' home, which they bought way before that, might have been 70 grand. Okay, and they own that house. All right, just understand that. The same house in the same state on the same block, even though it's been years, so the house is older, so it should cost less because, you know, houses, the older they are, the more you got to fix them and stuff like that. They should depreciate. Okay, they do depreciate in value, but they're increasing in price. A house that was $165,000 in the year 2000, the exact same house on the same block in the same city today is $430,000. Okay? Yeah, Mark is saying. He says parents paid $76,000 for a house in 1976. Yep, same. Same house today is $800,000. Today, my parents' house, they don't have it no more, but it sold. It sold after Hurricane Katrina. The same house sold for over $900,000. So me and Coach Marcus, we figured it out. We're looking at the numbers. His parents had a house for $76,000 back in the 70s, $800,000 now. My parents had a house for 70 some thousand dollars in the hood. True, in the hood. In the 80s, the same house sold for $930,000. That house is not worth $930,000. But because of inflation, things that cost. So let's say, for example, you take $100,000. Let's say you put $400,000 on the side. I'm saving $400,000, and when my kids turn 18 or when they get married, I'm gonna give them a house. You won't be able to give them a house because that $400,000 will not buy a house in 10 years the way it will today. That number needs to be closer to $1 million at current inflation rates. You just got to understand. Taxes literally are taxed on everything you do to infinity every time you buy something, even when the money's already been taxed, to prevent you from being able to save money. Okay? Same thing is going to be with inflation. If you do get a chance to save money from day to day, month to month, year to year, the money's going to be worth less and less and less until there's no money left. Until they just won't buy nothing. Inflation is designed on purpose, okay, to destroy any money that you're able to save. Now let's see what Kathleen said. The price of wood is expensive now. Is your house burned down? Can't even rebuild it? Yeah. Okay, let's give just one or two more examples now. A cup of coffee used to be 94 cents. Most cups of coffee, when you go to a coffee shop, when coffee shops started opening, a dollar and change. I remember people taking out a dollar bill and like a nickel. You know what I'm saying? Just, But then now a cup of coffee is anywhere from $2.50 up to $4 and up for the same size. We don't even talk about the specialty magical coffees. It's the same coffee, people. Okay, let me put this in perspective for you before we move on. When Starbucks had first opened, I've not researched this stuff, okay? When Starbucks first opened, it was $1.74 for an entire pound of Starbucks Sumatran imported coffee beans. I'm going to say that again. If you wanted a pound of imported Sumatran Starbucks coffee beans, a pound of them, that's a lot of coffee beans. It was $1.74. Today, that can't even buy you one cup of coffee. Not even one cup at Starbucks. No, just can't do it. That's crazy, but that's inflation. Okay, so my point to the story is this. The dollar you save today is worth less each year due to inflation, which is dictated, interest rates, inflation, all that jazz, is dictated by a combination of the government, the greed, and also the Federal Reserve Bank. All right, and I'm going to very quickly touch on the Federal Reserve Bank because most people don't understand what that is. Okay, the Federal Reserve is not a government entity. It sounds like it. It has a government entity sounding name, but it is not a government entity like the IRS or the FBI. The Federal Reserve is not part of our government. They are a private bank owned by very, 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 very wealthy people. And that private bank has contracted through shadiness many years ago, it's what it is, contracted with our government to be the only place that can actually print the US dollars. So our currency, our dollars, the United States dollars that we work really hard for, okay, those are going to be printed by a private bank. So whenever our government needs money, okay, they have to go to a private bank and say, hey, print me some money, loan me some money, $1 billion bailout, $1 trillion bailout. And is a private bank going to give someone money without charging interest on the loan? Absolutely not. Okay, so our country has to tax us literally to death to even pretend to pay interest on a loan that we shouldn't even have to take because it's our dollars, but we can't print them because one of our presidents back in the day sold us out. It's just the truth. And this is hard truth that you got to understand of why your grandparents had it easier buying houses and owning a car and why you living check to check can't even make ends meet. It's not your fault. You were born into a financial matrix system. Okay? I'm sorry. Look, the $65 you save cannot buy the exact same thing it used to. You're going to need triple. The hundred-some thousand dollars you save is not going to buy the house that it used to. You're going to need triple or quadruple. The $100,000 you save in 2000 because you wanted to buy the top of the lines, Benz or Ferrari or whatever that is, it ain't even going to buy a Lambo these days. An old used one maybe, but the thing you used to get, you're going to pay double for that. So for milk, bread, coffee, and even luxury items, it is all going up in price so drastically because of globalists and the government. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Ain't no fans or buts about it. You can research this stuff yourself, or you can take my word for it. It should frustrate you. Okay? Oh yeah, health insurance. You better believe it. You better believe it. The insurance, no area of the economy is immune. Now, class, what have we learned today so far? We have learned that because every single dollar you ever make is taxed before you get it, when you spend it, it's taxed again. And the place that you spend it, when they take that money and pay their employees, okay, it's going to get taxed again. And then when those employees go spend it, it's going to get taxed again. And when the place they spend it takes that money and pays the employees, it's going to get taxed again. Taxes is an infinite game, an infinity weapon by the government to prevent you from being able to save money. And then any money you can save, inflation is the weapon by the government and the Federal Reserve to make sure that any money you save disappears by being lowered in value through factors that you can't control. Okay? My friends, it's not your fault. It's just it's just the world that we were born into. It's just the world we were born into. Okay, just they ain't if ands or buts about it. All right. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're excited about the information you just learned, and 10 being you're angered about the information you just learned. Put a 1 to 10 in the chat. 10 means, man, I'm angry about it being the way it is, and 1 being I like it like that. I like that I can't save anything. The money's going out the window no matter what. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Look, New York does not tax nutritional products. Only benefit of living here. Thank God. Thank God. But guess what? When those employees at those places get paid, it's getting taxed anyway. It's getting taxed. It don't even matter. Listen, that just means that if the dollar is taxed 1,000 times in New York for nutritional products, it's only taxed 999 times. I'm not mad at that. It won't matter, but that's awesome. That's actually a good thing. Yeah, it's a 10. You should be angry about this. Now, listen, this is what we're going to do. There is a proven path. There is a proven path. There is a proven system. Okay. All right. Proven to escape the financial matrix. It is a proven path. This is a system. And on day 3, which is tomorrow, so I want to make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for day 3, the Prosperity Challenge. We'll be detailing. Okay, we'll be detailing the proven path, the system to escape the financial matrix that we were all born into. There's a way out. Okay, just understand that. All right, but just to sum this up, this is why it's so important for you to share products and the financial opportunity that you believe in with people that you care about. Because a lot of people don't even know that they don't know why they're living check to check. They don't know why they've got $30,000 in debt. They're like, man, where's the money going? It's being stolen right under your nose. Okay. And it's going, a lot of times, don't even get me started, where it's appropriated to is never going to be benefiting you or where you live. That's just the nature of the world we live in. And it's been like that, it is what it is. Yeah, angering, but it's been like that. So tomorrow we're going to really educate you on a proven system. This has worked for hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people to get out of the financial matrix. But just understand this is why you must prosper. You must be in abundance. Because even to execute this plan, it's going to take income. It's worth it, but you got to get that done. So that's what we're going to be covering tomorrow on day 3 of the Prosperity Challenge. Is going to be, since we already covered the foundation. We've always covered we've covered the oils that you need. We've covered the time schedule that we'll be doing. And today we covered the system, financial system that we were all born into. And now that you're aware of it, you should really be hungry for a way out, as will any other people too. So this is what till you know why, the how doesn't matter. Okay, now that you know why that you're in a system and you know why there's a system, now the how to get out should be very, very attractive to you. Okay, very, very attractive to you, for you and your family. So that's what we'll cover tomorrow. I appreciate y'all so much, ladies and gentlemen. Like, again, if you're a voter, you haven't got out and voted yet, get out and do your voting stuff. But this is America, so you're not forced to go vote if you don't want to. But I highly recommend it, because it's really hard to complain about policies if you're not going to take action, thinking that your one vote doesn't matter. Just remember, men, women, and children, or young adults of every age and every civilization, white, black, Pacific Islander, Latino, African, Afro-Caribbean, every single type of individual, from Irish to Senegal. There are groups of people, men, women, and children of every generation, that at some point was being killed or not allowed to vote. So it really, to me, doesn't matter who you vote for. You vote your heart, your conscience, and what you believe in. But to not vote is okay, because this is America. You're free. However, there are people who have died, and probably in your lineage. And this is regardless of whether or not you are white, black, Latino, Islander, Asian, doesn't matter. If you trace it back, for women, minority, anybody, if you trace it back far enough, there are people in your lineage who died for the ability to vote, even if they wanted to, right to vote, and they was arguing against the King of England and he killed them. Like, listen, it's a thing that your ancestors could not do, that really wanted to do. yeah, do it for those who can't and couldn't in your own personal lineage. It's just my personal belief. But that being said, love y'all. God bless y'all. We will catch y'all on the next one.